being led by Black women is a thing that's happening now. That's super important for us as Black men to have that understanding and lean into their perspective and understand that this is how they see the world as well and how we can be allies. When we say, speaking of allies, and so just showing our range through being an ally and support, but also showing that range, like you said, and having an impact.
What's up, everybody? My name is Sinqua Walls, and we are here in celebration of Essence Screen Kings. And I'm excited because I got my brothers here today. I know everybody individually, and I want you guys to meet them. We have some talented brothers today. We got the Mr. Kelvin Harrison Jr. We got Mr. Keith Powers. We got one of the GOATs, Lorenz Tate, Legacy, everything. We got Shamir Anderson, and we got J. Alphonse Nicholson, some of the best actors in the business, and we're here to talk about film, we're here to talk about fashion, we're here really, brothers, to talk about whatever we want.
Yes.
We'll just kick it off. J. Alphonse was saying something about how much he loves New Orleans.
Oh man, shout out to Essence Fest. I was telling these gentlemen today, shout out to my guy Lance Gross, he told me this, he said, J. Alphonse, you don't know how famous you are until you go down to New Orleans and experience Essence Fest. I'm sure Lorenz can speak to it. It's amazing because everybody who's coming in and want to take pictures with you look just like you. When you step outside your hotel, they waiting for you outside there 4 seasons. So we need to bring this group down there this year. We can make that happen.
I'm ready. Essence Fest. We're here all weekend. Y'all already know what we're gonna do. Right. Is anybody else? And I know Lorenz, you've been there.
Yeah, we did a movie Girls Trip that was centered around Essence Fest. So we got a chance to spend a lot of time just getting to know the city, but what Essence really represents, man, that's our culture. It really is Black excellence all the way around. And, it's a movement. And, the fact that they're able to allow, entertainers in Hollywood, Black entertainers to come down and celebrate and be a part of, that culture, it's amazing.
It's a cultivation of love.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is also like why we're all here today, because of the love that we have for the passion and the art that we do, right? I know we all have respective projects that are coming soon.
Sure.
I'm genuinely a fan of all you brothers, and I'm blessed to know all you brothers individually. Me and Kelvin go way back. We have people that we know in common. We've never met until right now, but the people that we know have talked about us all the time.
There's the connection right there.
That's the connection right there. That's why I said we go way back. We just didn't know. We're cousins, right? We're cousins. But if you guys want to talk about today, what do y'all have going on? What do you guys have coming out? Alphonse and I have worked together before. I mean, what's going on in you guys' life? Because I know that's why we're here today. Who wants to start? Sham, you want to start?
Me? Yeah, sure.
You got everything going on.
Right.
Talk about it.
I'm starring in John Wick 4.
Let's go.
Opposite Keanu Reeves, Lawrence Fishburne, Donnie Yen. So that's an international small franchise.
It's a nice little group.
He got real humble when he said it.
Little thing.
I'm just breaking records out here.
You know what I'm saying? Little thing.
Yeah.
And then I did a really special movie, a smaller movie that I'm really proud of called Bruiser.
Let's go.
That's on Onyx Collective, opposite, some incredible talent. Valen, Trevante, and Chanel.
Yes.
And it's a Black love story about 2 Black fathers wanting to be in their son's life, and that was really incredible for me. I got to work on that, and Miles Warren, first-time filmmaker, he wrote the script and directed it, and he's a real special talent, and I got to transform and work with some incredible folks, and I'm proud of those 2 things, John Wick 4 and Bruiser.
Let's go.
Nice.
Let's go. I'm proud of you. I'm excited, man.
Thank you.
Keith, you got some stuff coming too, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, first of all, I want to say, like you were saying, man, I'm honored to be at this table with y'all. I was saying that when we were shooting, I was like, man, I'm inspired by all y'all work, for real. I follow, I'm a researcher. So I look to see what y'all got going on. Y'all all tremendous artists, for real. This means a lot, for real.
Thank you, man.
To just be at this table with y'all, for real, I'm like, man, hey, I'm gonna go home like, damn, I'm super inspired. I'm not gassed and any of that. I suffer from imposter syndrome sometimes. I don't know what it is, and to be here with y'all just remind me like, okay, I'm doing something. But
and the biggest thing is that you do it, man. I mean, I've known bro for a long time, and you are so focused on getting better each and every day. And I feel like that's something that the OGs, right, the people that kind of have spoken to me have always been as long as you continue to be a student every day, you're gonna continue to rise. And I feel like all of us, we're a student of you, bro. Because I've watched how you've managed so many different elements of being notable. right? And you always handle it with such peace. You always handle it with such poise, and you're always kind to everybody. Like I've literally seen so many times where people have come up to Keith, and Keith will literally listen to every single person's conversation. Like I've seen that, bro.
You don't have the kind of time to do that, though.
No,
So I try to go up to Sinqua in Toronto and say, hey, Sinqua, I'm a big fan. He'd be like, who you?
I'm like, I'm sorry, what's that? I just have a short attention span. That's what it is.
Shamir.
That's right.
Yes.
Screen Kings, right?
Right, yes. We did the table again.
I got a question though, because Lorenz, like obviously, like people always throw this to you, brother, but you've been such a trailblazer for us, right? Because I think the thing about it is that you told stories that had duality, right? And I wanted to know really how did you then and how do you now choose your projects? Because I think that's something we all kind of want to like follow in.
Well, first and foremost, man, I just want to echo what Keith is saying. What you've been saying is like being at this table is really important. It's special and it's vital.
Yes.
Oftentimes we hear that whole saying, if you're not invited at the table, create your own. And this is indicative of us creating our own table where we can see each other, acknowledge each other, and celebrate. It's not about any competition. It's about the collective, right? And so I'm honored to be here, man. And, the fact that you point out things that I've done in my career that would seem as though I'm a trailblazer. And it's kind of just listening to y'all is inspiring, and I'm motivated. In terms of the kind of things that I look to do to, create that what I see is a legacy, is something that my predecessors, whether it's, in the industry or outside the industry, can look at my work and what I've done on camera and off camera and be inspired and motivated. I'm always looking for challenges. I'm always looking for doing something that won't put me in a box. And oftentimes, in Hollywood, we as black men, and just the black narrative is typically, has historically been told by other people, right? And other cultures and people sort of governing over our narrative. But the fact that we're able to sort of change that, tell our own stories. So I'm always looking for ways to do something a little differently. I started my movie career with Menace to Society, right? And played Old Dog.
Crazy.
Yeah, but I didn't want to stop there, right? So I had the opportunity to kind of flip the script and do a movie called The Inkwell. I play, someone that was totally different. Right, something totally different.
Duality where I was like, he went from Old Dog to that, and as a young actor, I was like, okay,
right,
that's range.
And that's what it was going to say. I just wanted to, show my range, but it's really, about the opportunity, and oftentimes we don't have those opportunities. And I see, this incredibly talented table of gifted artists that need to have more opportunities to show the different things that we all can do. And so we have to be the ones that also are looking for ways to create that narrative that really reflects who we are, because we're not monolithic, right? We're so diverse, and to be a part of some cinematic gems, as we kind of talk about. And I don't want to go through my whole resume, but I've been fortunate.
We know.
I've been very fortunate, and it's just gratifying to know that the work that I've done can inspire incredibly talented people like you all, man. And I'm inspired by all of you brothers, man.
Thank you, brother. It's great to be here.
It's funny because you say like not being monolithic and not being in a box, and I think a lot of those times those gems, like you just said, gems and what you discover. Because I know some of the people here, I'll say like one of the gems that I discovered when me and this brother just worked together, I want to know if you could talk about it, is your drumming experience. A lot of people don't maybe know that about him, but is a very, very prolific drummer, and you could tell a little bit about that, because when you shed that light on me, I was like, okay, this brother is truly an artist.
No, I appreciate it, brother. It's I've been a drummer long before being an actor, and how it impacted my journey as an artist, and how it paved the way for me, how it allowed me to make a living in the streets of New York. So a lot of people knew me as a street drummer way before they saw me on a Broadway stage, or they'll see me on that Broadway stage and then see me street drumming. Be like, damn, bro, I just seen you on the John. And then eventually, the P-Valleys of the world and the Self-Mades of the world and these great projects pull you away from that part of your artistry. And so something that I had to do to survive now becomes something that I really fiend to do to kind of survive mentally and like spiritually.
Speak to your spirit.
Yeah, and so I want to get back to it, man, which I am. That's the plan. You know, I mentioned it the other day about wanting to be a part of, speaking of Powerful Woman, one of Beyonce's camps, right? One of her music camps is doing something really dope, putting a band together.
Yes.
Right.
I know Calvin is a musician as well.
Yes.
You have an amazing film coming out where he's playing a violinist.
Let's go.
And a composer, which I'm looking forward to seeing. Speaking of range, right? Being able to have all these different opportunities. But yeah, being a drummer, man, changed my life and really it fed my soul for a long time, fed my son, you know, for a long time. And so now to be able to bring my musical abilities to, you know, people think I'm a rapper for real now, right? Because of P Valley.
You say that, bro, because, you know, we've talked several times, and I'm the type of person, like, and Keith is like this too, and I can say that, it's like, when we appreciate your work, we just gonna come up and say that we had never met, but we had mutual friends again who knew us and was like, have you and Alphonse ever met before? I was like, no, but we were connected under one spirit. And I was like, man, this brother gets it. And similar to you as well, when I watch y'all work, it really starts from right here. And I think there's this element of musicianship that comes from that when it starts from the core.
Right.
And you being a drummer, and when it starts right here and then it reverberates out your body. And I've watched a lot of this brother's stuff in the same way, where it's like it always starts with this truth that comes out and then you emote it. So you can sit in a lot of quiet moments as well. And I just wanted to kind of know, just from, because I'm a steal. Michael Caine said all great artists steal. And if you don't steal from the best. And so I'm sitting with my brothers right now who I consider the best, and I'm gonna steal from this brother right here. Where does that start with you? Like, I know where he's talking about what he had to fight for. And I know he had to talk about where he's at now and how he wants to continue it. But for you, brother, you're doing great stuff. You are still continuing. Where did that start for you? Where does that core come from when you go into telling those stories and even the stuff you're doing now?
You guys are so cool. So cool. I just want to listen. For me, it's just like it's just curiosity.
Yes.
I'm just curious, and like I don't really like think about any of this as like acting or anything. I don't know. I'm just trying to discover stuff and play around. And because I come from a music background as well, I think about everything with like, what's the story? What do you have to say? That's what my dad used to always say when we were improvising with jazz and stuff. He was like, Kel, if you don't have anything to say, then don't play. So I kind of feel like I was like, well, what do I have to say if I'm going to do this scene or if I'm going to take this movie? Like, if I don't have anything, then I should probably go sit my behind somewhere else.
And that's kind of how when you break down the script, right? You go into it going, what is the purpose here? As we kind of study more, we go, okay, well, why am I doing this? Why am I telling the story? How does it speak to me? Right? And I always kind of say, like, what's the cipher? You know, like you think about scene study, you go, what's the cipher? Or when you kind of like playing with somebody in a moment, you go like, where are we locked in? Are we dancing with each other? And it is very jazz and rhythmic because you start to move around each other. And so that's so important when you have that type of storytelling already in your rhythm and already in your spirit, and then it just evolves. Like, I've literally seen this brother do some amazing stuff. And it always starts with just like I said, it starts here, it comes here, then it comes out. You know, and I love it, man. I love it. My question for y'all right now is and this is so cliche, but we've all been able to do a couple of things. What do we want to do next? Right, where do we want to go?
You know, it's interesting. We just listening to everyone talk about the artistry. For me, I want to probably take the next step of doing things from a business standpoint. You know, the fact of the matter is, a lot of us are in front of the camera, but there's so much power behind the scenes. I always talk to people about that. Oftentimes, they want to be in front of the camera and continue to grow. But for me, I love to grow more behind the camera in terms of producing, telling our stories, being a part of the narrative, because it's so important. We have such a rich, amazing culture and history. There's so many things that we have to tell and to do. Unfortunately, it's not enough of us in the rooms or at the table that can make those decisions to greenlight the stories that matter to us, that matter most to us, and the things that we need to share to not only our children, but the rest of the world. So to be a part of whatever that looks like in terms of being able to get your story done, your story told, I think is really important and to sustain the narrative because it's so vital and important to us. And there's a whole nother business side of it. I tell people all the time when I sit down with execs, I say, listen, man, we as Black folks, we're not looking for any handout.
Right.
We have earned our right to be here. Not only as, artists and the things that we've done in front of the camera, the things that we're doing, but also the consumers.
Yes.
Black folks, in general, we spend a lot of our money on entertainment and the things that are being put out there, right? So, I mean, it's only right that we have, green light power, the fact that we are able to get the money that is necessary to tell the kind of stories, and have the resources and the platforms for us to display the great work that we do and to be able to turn over a dollar and make some money and keep ourselves sustained. You were pointing out how you were a drummer, you was in the streets of New York, to feed your family. But it's not very easy for us as artists to sustain ourselves financially all the time, right? When it comes to this business, because everything is cyclical. You're gonna have highs and lows. It's just the nature of this industry. But if we can find a way to unite, find like-minded people who look like us and allies who may not look like us, understand and understand the importance of us being in those corporate rooms, in those decision-making spaces. And so for me, that's part of the next step.
That's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Like I said, always a trailblazer, brother, and like setting the foundation for us. And like, when we sat down and we did our photo shoot portion of it, we all talked about how grateful we were. Right, grateful to be here, grateful to be chosen, grateful to have the moment to do this again. And the gratitude of just being able to listen to that, right? Because I think it takes the people that have come before you to give you the most wisdom, and then us having the ear to listen, right? But also being able to listen to our peers. Like I listen, like I said, and I always will reference this, I listen to all of y'all in so many different ways, both verbal and nonverbal. And I instantly think when you say like create behind the scenes, producing, progressively moving forward. I know this brother does it. I feel like between Drake and Shamir, they run right. It's like either Drake has the production or Shamir got the production. It's one or the other. There's two people that got keys, and you got to call them first. I don't have Drake's number, but I do have his. You know what I mean? And that's what it really takes. I mean, Keith, like I know you, man, and I know you in the lab, bro. And so it's like, what inspires you next? Like, I know you've been able to do some cool stuff, but people don't always know how much your mind is so expansive. If y'all don't know, like, Keith is a deep thinker and goes to a lot of stuff.
My mind is super impulsive too. And I think for me, because I just love being on set, because that's probably when I'm the most present. I think I've graduated from like just wanting a job and now just wanting to say something. I want the job, but I wanted to say something, because I realized when something come out and that response, it's nice to get the response of like, okay, that was entertaining, that was fun. But just that response of people really feeling like the project says something. It really feel like you're doing some type of service. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying we're finding a cure for cancer, you know what I'm saying? But it is an art form, and art speaks. And it speaks as a vessel. And I just be like, my next project has to speak to and I know my next project coming out now is the rom-com. It's so fun and it's great, and I'm working alongside Gabrielle Union. Perrier is directing, and it's a great cast, and it was fun. And I really appreciate it too, because Gabby challenged me. I was like, to know you about to play opposite to Gabrielle Union is frightening. I'm just be real. And I was fortunate enough to have received an offer for that film.
Let's go.
So basically, my audition was basically a table read. So going into that and just being like, I gotta play off Gabby. This is crazy. But what it does is, after that, it goes good. You have you're nervous at first. You have a little anxiety. It goes well. Then after, you like, I belong here. Like I did something right there. And those are just when just feeling that, and then feeling the response of people feeling a certain way about what you do, it's like, man, the next step for me is I just want to do stuff that speaks to people. I've watched all you guys do something that speaks to people. You know what I'm saying? I watched Bruiser not too long ago, freaking amazing. You know what I'm saying? I literally hit Nick. I hit Nick, man. I was like, bro, let me know what this ending, like, how did you interpret it?
Yeah.
Because I was so interested in the story, I was like, I need to know what this ending meant. And I love feeling like that as a consumer. I'm such a consumer still in this. And I'm like, I want people to feel what I'm feeling from my work. You know what I'm saying? So just the next thing for me is just something that speaks, quality that speaks. And it speaks to us. I don't mind doing our stories.
I love
our stories. I relate to it.
It's the visual storytelling, and like you're about to say, like what you is representing the people that you're speaking for, right? Like you get to live in these people's shoes. You guys have played people that have really lived in life, both of you guys.
That experience is amazing. Like, so Sterling Affairs, which is coming out soon, and I'm not, you know, I'm glad to be blessed to be in the number, as they say, you know. But yeah, portraying Chris Paul, you know, this gentleman, he's still alive, not much older than us, you know, he's a peer, right? And so, but it's like, yeah, you want to tell these stories correct and how they saw this story, how their feelings were in this story. So Sterling Affairs is a very uncomfortable story about Donald Sterling owning the Clippers and then kind of degrading his players and talking down to them and being caught on camera doing that, being caught on audio doing that. And it's, we really dug into, shout out to Lawrence Fishburne, who you all have had the pleasure of working with. He a GOAT, he a legend. But just being super honest when it comes to storytelling. And then also, you know, like you said, Keith, I've had this crazy experience of playing this character, Lil Murda, right? And understanding that people walk his life every day, and people are affected by this lifestyle every day, you know, and the stigma that comes with it behind it. But I must agree, brother, it's nothing more fulfilling than doing something that means something to somebody, even if it comes with a lot of ups and downs, right? Because everybody ain't gonna agree. Everybody ain't gonna like the story that you're telling. Everybody, some people may not agree with the story, the culture that we want to tell, the stories we want to tell as black men. But I think, for one, being led by black women is a thing that's happening now. That's super important for us as black men to have that understanding and lean into their perspective and understand that this is how they see the world as well and how we can be allies. When we say, speaking of allies. And so just showing our range through being an ally and support, but also showing that range, like you said, and having an impact. You know, what type of provider you want to be. My wife taught me that. You know, how do you want to put, what type of storytelling do you want to provide for people? So it's important, man, that we're doing something that if you don't got nothing to say, go and sit down. I love that. As far as a musician too, it's like, if it ain't coming to you, just put it down. But understand, breathe and believe, and the story will be there.
Listen, that's that. And then on that note, like, this is Essence Screen Kings. We are honored to be here with you guys today. Thank you for having us. These brothers right here, it's been a pleasure sitting with you guys today. If you don't have anything to say, don't do it, but we're gonna try to make sure that we got something to say every time, and we are honored that you guys have.
I just want to say as well, Sinqua, who moderated the roundtable, is incredible. So this man right here.
Listen, I want all the keys to Toronto.
Say no more, fam. Say no more. Say no more, fam.
Appreciate you guys so much.
Thank you.
Essence Screen Kings, we out.